Janet Mills' only solution over the last 4 years is to throw money at a problem.
I've spent 4 years repairing the damage of his administration.
You're a liar.
And with that, the race to the finish is on. With just 4 weeks until the midterm election, tonight Governor Janet Mills, Republican Paul LePage, and Independent Sam Hunkler participated in the first gubernatorial debate of the year. Topics range from abortion and homelessness to education and the economy. News Center Maine's Jackie Mundry is in Lewiston to break it down.
For the first time, Maine voters were able to see all three candidates for governor on the same stage. The debate got off to a quick start, focusing on the economy. Governor Janet Mills touted her rainy day fund, while former Governor Paul LePage says her $850 pandemic relief checks were a bad idea.
We're saving for the rainy day fund more than it's ever been, higher than it's ever been. And we provided inflation relief checks to 850,000 people in Maine.
Instead of giving $850 to all Mainers to buy the election, I would have taken $250 million and gone to oil dealers and gas dealers in Maine and asked them to lower the price of oil and have the state subsidize some of the oil to help them out.
LePage adds that he would have suspended the gas tax, something that was proposed in the last legislative session, but never got any traction. Independent candidate Sam Hunkler spent his time on the first two questions, not answering, but instead introducing himself.
These two need no introduction. Most people in Maine don't even know that there's a third person on the ballot, let alone knowing who I am. So in order for me to have any context in my answers, I believe I need to introduce myself a little bit.
But moderators with Maine Public, the Portland Press Herald, and the Lewiston Sun-Journal quickly moved past economic issues into health care, asking candidates how they would handle abortion. Mills says she would leave the state law exactly as it is, and if the legislature proposed a bill restricting access, she would veto it.
As long as I am governor, the right to reproductive health care will never be considered dispensable.
LePage was asked his position on abortion, as well as specific questions on if he'd approve stricter regulations.
And if they brought those bills to you, you would not sign them?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Well, would you let it go into law without your signature?
I don't know it. I would.
That's
a
the alternative,
hypothetical.
Mr.
Would
LePage. You know that.
Well,
You've
wait a
been
second.
governor. You know what the options are.
Okay.
Would you let it go into law without
Would
your
you
signature?
allow?
LePage says these questions are hypothetical, but eventually adds that he would not change the current Maine law.
If you're saying
we're
we're going to
not.
take the restriction away, making it illegal for the viability, no, I would not sign that. I would veto that.
On education, all three candidates agree. They want to do right by Maine children.
I think that we need to give much more local control to our schools. I think we may need to give some guidelines from state, but I think we need to give the control of education back to communities.
LePage has also expressed that through his recently released Parents' Bill of Rights.
What I believe is that parents should have a right to opt in or out of certain curriculums. That's really what the Parents' Bill of Rights is in my mind.
Mills was asked about her, quote, woke LGBTQ+ and anti-racism curriculum. She deflected the question and instead says parents don't need a Bill of Rights.
Parents have rights in Maine, and I encourage them to take part in the process. Run for school board. Express your views to the school board.
Mainers will have their say on who will be our next governor on November 8th. In Lewiston, Jackie Mundry, News Center, Maine.